So I like to be competitive, and I like to know what sales are doing what and what not, especially when it comes to things like this. So Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, the DVD and Blu-ray sales for the first week of its release are out. And okay, I'm gonna put things into perspective with you guys, and I'll eventually read out the list a little bit so you guys can understand the numbers that it did, because it came in number 6 in the chart of the, recently released stuff or whatnot. But the numbers it did is not necessarily on, like, in comparison to something that is really mainstream. It didn't do like, oh my gosh, like, it beat out this and that from, like, a US release or whatever. But it did pretty freaking amazing numbers, especially for an anime DVD Blu-ray release. And that's something that I'm really hyped and proud of. So the numbers that it did is, it did a little bit over 48,000 copies in its first week out and made Funimation almost $1 million. So it did close to 50,000 copies, and it did about $960,000 for Funimation. If you add that up with the, I think 8 million, if I'm correct, 8 million plus that the movie did in theaters, if you keep on, adding it up, eventually this is going to be probably $10+ million that this film made for Funimation. I mean, kudos to Funimation bringing in mad bread with that Dragon Ball Z. And at the same time, I'm really hoping, to be honest with you, with all the success that Resurrection F is having, Funimation uses some of that money and go license that Dragon Ball Super, baby, because we still haven't had no announcement of us getting it. I know we heard about the whole Asian dub thing, and apparently Funimation isn't even having any part in that, so it's going to be a completely separate dub, which doesn't necessarily mean that we're not getting it, because apparently the Asian dubs or whatever are usually done separately from us, so we still more than likely could be getting the Funimation dub at some given point, the English dub or whatever. But like, yeah, honestly, really hyped for the success, and I'll show you a little bit of a comparison now in regards to what it did compared to what other releases did. So to put it into perspective, Jurassic World in its first week did 1.54 million units, and it made $43 million. So if you compare that to that, but I mean, Jurassic World is a humongous movie, so you can't really. So Aladdin in its 577th week did 103 units because they did that re-release. And again, that's a Disney thing. We're comparing Jurassic World and a Disney thing to an anime film. If we get something a little bit more, like, to put into perspective, okay, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection of F came in number 6 with those sales. Back to the Future Trilogy, a re-release, in its first week did 44,000. So it beat out a re-release of, Back to the Future, which again, I mean, Back to the Future is pretty fucking popular, especially with the recent whole thing of us passing the timeline, of what it was supposed to happen in the movie or whatnot. I guess in a way, like, oh, okay, it's relevant. So Resurrection of F outdid that. But again, if you compare it, like, the Avengers Age of Ultron, it did 53,000 units in its 7th week and did a total of 1.9 million. So, maybe Resurrection F might end up doing probably 100,000 to 200,000 units, which again, for an anime release, that is pretty freaking awesome. But if you compare it to other things like, US releases or whatnot, it's not that, impressive. But still, nonetheless, I'm really excited. Another $1 million for Funimation. Kudos. And again, use that money, bring us that Dragon Ball Super, baby. I want Dragon Ball Super on Blu-ray ASAP. But let me know what you guys think about this. Are you impressed with the sales? How much do you think in the end Resurrection F is gonna do? And what do you hope for, with Funimation getting this new acquired wealth from Dragon Ball Z, Resurrection F? Do they use this money for it? Do you want them to acquire Super quicker? Do you want them to get other anime? Because a lot of times they use this money to go acquire other things and do other things with it. And are you just overall excited about Dragon Ball Z's success? I mean, honestly, it took Dragon Ball Z to start bringing anime again to the mainstream, and I'm so glad that Dragon Ball Z is doing that, because we need this stuff, and this is fucking awesome. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.